Ladies and gentlemen, let me start with something controversial. Emotional intelligence is not new. It is not revolutionary. It is not the golden key modern universities pretend to have just discovered. The truth is this: emotional intelligence, what the corporate world now packages into neat PowerPoints and overpriced seminars, is nothing more than the marriage of Stoicism and Christianity. And I'll go further. The so-called experts pushing this as an academic breakthrough are selling old wisdom with new price tags. They're feeding you bologna and telling you it's filet mignon. Tonight, I want to prove it to you. Not with shallow words, but with the unshakable force of Scripture, the timeless logic of the Stoics, and the undeniable structure of the 4 pillars of emotional intelligence. The psychologists who coined the term emotional intelligence, Daniel Goleman and others, say it rests on 4 pillars. 1. Self-awareness. 2. Self-management. 3. Social awareness. 4. Relationship management. Sounds sophisticated, right? Sounds like something invented in a research lab. But let's break it down. Self-awareness, knowing yourself. Self-management, controlling yourself. Social awareness, reading others. Relationship management, loving and serving others well. Does that sound like a new idea to anyone here? No. These are ancient truths. And I'll show you how both the Stoics and the early Christians lived and taught every single one of these long before a textbook ever existed. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Self-awareness begins with looking inward, understanding your strengths, weaknesses, desires, and fears. The Stoics drilled this daily. Marcus Aurelius filled pages of meditations with brutally honest reflections. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Now let's look at Scripture. In 2 Corinthians 13:5, Paul writes, "Examine yourselves to see whether you are in the faith. Test yourselves." That's self-awareness, not shallow self-esteem fluff. Real accountability. Look in the mirror, test your heart, confront the truth. Emotional intelligence says, know yourself. Stoicism and Christianity have been saying this for millennia. Know your soul, know your sin, know your duty. Self-awareness is useless without self-control. That's the 2nd pillar. The Stoics prized temperance, the discipline to master passions, anger, and impulses. Seneca wrote, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." In other words, control your mind, and you control your suffering. Christianity, even stronger. Proverbs 25:28 says, "A man without self-control is like a city broken into and left without walls." Paul calls self-control a fruit of the Spirit in Galatians 5:23. It's not optional. It's the mark of maturity. What is emotional intelligence teaching when it says self-management? Nothing new. Just the ancient call, master yourself, or you will be mastered by your emotions. 3rd pillar, social awareness. The modern EI gurus say this is empathy. The Stoics said the same thing, but deeper. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, "Men exist for the sake of one another. Teach them or bear with them." They recognized we are social beings. Our ability to understand others is essential to harmony. Scripture? It doesn't just call for empathy. It commands it. Romans 12:15. Rejoice with those who rejoice. Weep with those who weep. That is empathy written in holy ink. And Jesus? The Son of God himself demonstrated the ultimate social awareness. In Matthew 9:36, when he saw the crowds, he had compassion on them because they were harassed and helpless, like sheep without a shepherd. Emotional intelligence did not invent empathy. Christ embodied it. The 4th pillar of emotional intelligence, relationship management. The Stoics believed in cosmopolitanism, the brotherhood of all men. Hierocles, a lesser-known Stoic, pictured humanity as concentric circles of connection, family, friends, city, and world. The wise man pulls everyone closer to the center. Christianity, it raises the stakes. Jesus commands in John 13:34-35. A new command I give you, love one another. As I have loved you, so you must love one another. By this everyone will know you are my disciples, if you love one another. That is relationship management at divine scale. Love so powerfully that the world recognizes God through it. So tell me again, what is emotional intelligence? A new discovery? No. It is ancient Stoic discipline fused with Christian love, stripped of its soul, and repackaged as psychology. Now, you might say, so what? If it helps people, who cares what it's called? Here's why it matters. When the world erases the origins of wisdom, it also erases its authority. Emotional intelligence without Christ becomes self-help. Emotional intelligence without Stoicism becomes fragile positivity. But emotional intelligence rooted in Stoicism and Christianity, that's unbreakable, because it's not just about success at work or smoother relationships, it's about eternal truths, how to suffer well, how to live rightly, how to love deeply. If you cut emotional intelligence off from its roots, it becomes a cheap imitation. Colleges sell it as fresh meat, but it's reheated leftovers from the banquet of truth set thousands of years ago. Let's be blunt. The universities and corporate trainers want you to believe they've uncovered a new science. They speak in jargon, throw around acronyms, charge companies millions. But open a Bible, read a Stoic text, you'll see every principle already there. They say be self-aware. Paul said, examine yourselves. They say manage yourself. Proverbs said, without self-control, you're a broken city. They say, have empathy. Christ wept with the grieving. They say build relationships. Jesus commanded, love one another as I have loved you. The truth is this, emotional intelligence without Stoicism is shallow. Emotional intelligence without Christianity is soulless. And the modern packaging, it's bologna. It strips away the roots, sanitizes the wisdom, and pretends it's innovation. So what do we walk away with tonight? We walk away knowing that emotional intelligence is not new. It is ancient. It is the Stoic call to mastery of the self. It is the Christian command to love your neighbor. The 4 pillars of EI are not a discovery. They are a rediscovery. And the real tragedy is that our culture is praising the copy while ignoring the original. Let me seal this with one last scripture and one last Stoic truth. From 2 Timothy 1:7. For God gave us a spirit not of fear but of power and love and self-control. That verse contains every pillar of emotional intelligence. Power, self-awareness and management. Love, social awareness and relationship management. Self-control, the foundation of them all. And Epictetus? He wrote, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. That's self-management. That's Christianity too. Be angry and do not sin. So here's the deal. The next time someone tells you emotional intelligence is cutting-edge psychology, you can smile and say, no, it's the wisdom of Marcus Aurelius and the words of Jesus Christ. You're just late to the party. And when you grasp that, when you root your emotional intelligence in Stoic discipline and Christian truth, you won't just be emotionally intelligent, you'll be unshakable. You'll be forged. So my charge to you is this. Don't settle for the knockoff. Don't buy the bologna. Go to the source. Live like Marcus Aurelius wrote. Love like Jesus commanded. Then, and only then, will emotional intelligence stop being a buzzword and start being your way of life. For more truth, go to CaseyRayStrong.com and get your copy of Forged in Light today and start your journey through the Forged in Faith for Life series. Be sure to like this video and subscribe. Thank you.